We are 6 of us.
Oh, bring them all to the minyan.
Don't get me started. Let's go. Don't get me started. Okay, let's go. We're in Tafshim Mem.
This is the have a safe trip. Says L'Shom L'Biachim L'Shom. What's your jacket? Wash and dry? Wash and dry.
We are at the bottom of Shin Samach Beis. The last thing that Rebbe is explaining is basically the name Tzvokes is Esu B'Tzava Shalei. Basically means that's the way Elokus comes into the level of Bria. So he says all the names of Hashem are the level of Atzilus. Tzava is Netzach Haid, like it says in the Arizal, which basically means that it's the way Elokus from Atzilus comes into the world of Bria. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu's generation, which Elukadinus. Therefore, Moshe Rabbeinu's generation was the generation of Atzilus, and therefore you can't use the name Tzvokes. The Nevi'im were in the world of Bria, and therefore they have the word Tzvokes. So it says, okay, let's start 2 lines in the end of the page of Shin Samach Beis. The B'mei Moshe in the days of Moshe, Pnei Moshe K'vnei Achama, where Moshe Rabbeinu was like the sun, is Hayam Shachat B'chinas Atzilus, was the level of Atzilus. Therefore, Kaman Hogas on Muhammad's, therefore, all the battles of Moshe Rabbeinu in the Midbar, L'hoi Saidei Sartzva Hashem, was not through the Sartzva Hashem like it says before by the Nevi'im, Kim K'vesha Kosa Avayi Lochem Lochem. I forget, over there is the level of Havaya, not through the Malachim Sartzva Hashem, which is the level of Bria, because Moshe Rabbeinu was a generation of Atzilus. Everything that happened to Moshe Rabbeinu's generation was a generation of Atzilus. The Zeho, Mashi B'Yitzias, Mitzrayim, Kriyas Yamsuf, Hoysa Nisim, Gedel Niglim, Yates, Midarke, Teva Lagamri. Therefore, in the days of Moshe Rabbeinu, there were Nisim, miracles that not at all connected to nature whatsoever. There was no garment of nature. It was pure Atzilus in this world. 1 second. The level of Atzilus. But after Moshe Rabbeinu passed away, and then it becomes not the level of Chama, it becomes the level of Levana. Like Basi says, Ata Basi. What? Huh?
When they fought Amalek, he didn't say Hashem. They fought themselves. He was saying that all the wars of Moshe Rabbeinu were Hashem. But
yeah.
The war of Amalek,
it wasn't so about Hashem. Let me ask you, it's normal you pick up your hand, you win, you put down your hand, you lose. That's not even Teva. You think about it. In Teva, there's no way I can pick up my hand, the war will be won, and put down my hand and lose. Of course it's a Biavaya. On the contrary, because the name is not complete. Case you call, I don't want to say the passing, but Ein Hashem Shalom Ein Akisei Shalom. Kes Yudke. We instead of Kisei and Yudke Vavke, because the Gemara says the name of Havai is not complete, but it's all the Malam Midarach Hatam. And he said, Gam Shagam Ozaydei Anhoga Yisamilcham Aydei Sartzva. Even though in the days of Yeshua and later there are also a lot of miracles happened above nature, it was a little bit based in nature. Because even though the miracles, the wars in Yeshua's time were above nature, but that's still Sartzva Avaya. Yeah, he did the miracles above nature. But not the level of Hashem Yilachim Lachem Vatem Tarech Mam straight Yud Kevavke. And therefore, Zeu in Yeshem Tzvokes. Shenim Shechayidei Anevim, and therefore, what's the name of Tzvokes? That's connected already to nature, to Bria, and therefore, until the Nevi'im, while the world was still in the level of Atzilus, so to speak, there was no level of Tzvokes yet. Shagam and Ivram B'ya Tzava, Ya Eis, Hu Yizbarach Mamish B'Tzava Shalei, meaning Shegam B'Biyah, that even the level of Biyah, what it accomplished, should be Ir V'Gamer Echad K'mei B'Atzilus. Okay? So he says, what is the accomplishment? The accomplishment is, and this is the Avodah of a Jew, by the way, Tzivah Savaya. The Jew's Avodah is to create in the world of Bria the same level of godliness like it is in Atzilus. The same level of godliness. This level is even higher than Tzva Havaya. What it says, Sar Tzva Havaya Malach, in other words, like this, the names of Malachim, Gavriel, Michal, Rafal, even though it ends with Aleph Lamed, right? Michael, Gavriel, Rafael, but they're still not holy names. They're not holy names you can't erase, right? Because it's still not the same level of Tzvokes, which is a non-erasable name. That means the Malachim that say are in Bria, Gavriel, Michal, Gavriel, those guys, and a Yid does through Torah mitzvahs, Tzivah Savaya, going out with the sparks of Kedusha, continuously elevating the sparks of Kedusha, they accomplish much more than Sar Tzva Havaya, more than the level of Sar Tzva the Malach, because this is even higher, they accomplish Tzvokis. And what do they accomplish? That even the world of Bria Yitzir Nasiya, nature, is also the level of Atzilus. That's the Avodah of the Jew, by the way. Therefore, the name Tzvokis is originated by the Nevi'im, just like in the Kelim or Atzilus. So what was Avodah of the Nevi'im? Bringing down Elokus into nature. In fact, this is what the Rebbe says, that even those battles, they were above nature, but it was still in nature. Similar to the story of Purim, over there was more nature than over there, but still it's the level of bringing Elokus into nature. Bringing Havaya into Elokim to the extent Havaya hu Elokim.
Rabbi, you have to say this already? What is this paragraph coming to add? That's my, I got confused also. You said this paragraph.
No, you look first, so you remember from the other Maamar. In this Maamar, the Rebbe is explaining now in this paragraph why Tzvokis was instituted by the Nevi and not by Moshe Rabbeinu.
You didn't say it before in this.
No, not in this Maamar. Because the Rebbe explained, because Moshe is Atzilus, Tzvokis is the name of Elokus that comes into Biyah, so therefore Moshe Rabbeinu was higher than Tzvokis. What's the Nevi'im? They bring the level of Elokus into Biyah. That's the name Tzvokis. Va'idei zeh nikra b'shem Tzvokis. Meaning, what do they accomplish? That even in Biyah, you have a name of Hashem that's not erasable. Meaning it's Elokus. That's the level of Tzvokis. Shemeira malakel and Datzilis. Because Gam Tzvokis, Tzvois, meaning even the armies, which is Chayolas, which, like he said before, means Gdud in the Shamas and Malachim de Bria. The groups of Malachim and the Shamas in the world of Bria, Nas Echad Imei, becomes one with them, like it's plain in Torah. Okay, so this is the bottom line. Why the love? But he said, the Rebbe is explaining, this is the Avodah of a Yid, Tzivah Savaya. Why were they called Tzives when they left Egypt? Because they're Avodah of the Jew, like they did when they left Egypt. They took all the sparks with them, is to elevate the world. Atzilus is a world; it's above world. Atzilus is no connection to world. It's godly. It's no connection.
Why do the Hashem Tzva come together?
Why do you say Hashem Elokim? That's the same. That's why it's Tzvokis. The level of Havaya, the level of Atzilus comes into Tzvokis. Just like Nes comes into Teva, Havaya comes into Elokim. Havaya Tzvokis means the level of Yukevovki comes into Tzvokis. It becomes one. Like he says, what did they accomplish? That in Biyah is the same level of Kedusha like Atzilus.
But the Yerida is not the same as Hashem Elokim.
Correct. It's a lower. Correct. It's a unity of a lower level. Okay, Zion. V'zeu inyan now b'shem tzvokis. That Hashem and the Kelim are one. Also, that it becomes one with Biyah, that Tzemach Tzedek writes, in Eitz Chaim lo matzinu zeh. It doesn't say this in Kabbalah Varizal. In other words, what the Rebbe is saying, this is the Alter Rebbe's Chiddush. The Alter Rebbe in Torah Art explains that what's the Inyan of Tzvokis dafka through the Nevi'im? Dafka in Nevi'im, because this is a Lukus coming into Biyah, that they make Biyah, B'riyah Tzirasiyah, and one with Atzilas. So the Tzemach Tzedek writes, this doesn't say anywhere in Arizal. And he says, like it's the Chiddush of the Alter Rebbe, and it is proven from the mere fact, he doesn't bring down a source for it. If he doesn't, there's two things, interesting story. There's the Rebbe Rashab once told the Frierdiker Rebbe something, and he said he's not publicizing it because he doesn't have a source for it. So he doesn't want to, simply basically say, I don't know how true it is, I don't have a source, so I'm not publicizing it. A few minutes later, the Rebbe Rashab heard the way the Frierdiker Rebbe is telling everybody about it. So he calls him the Frierdiker Rebbe, he says, I told you I don't have a source for it. He says, you don't, I do. You're my source. There's also an interesting thing, the Rebbe rarely said this, but there's a din in Avelis that halacha kedivrei amekel. In the laws of mourning, Azilut, the halacha is always like the more lenient opinion. That's the halacha in Gemara. And the Rebbe, when he went to Menachem the Rashag was sitting Shiva, the Rebbe went to Menachem the Rebbe told him that if you're lenient in the laws of mourning, they're lenient above to the neshama in the judgment. So the Rashag asked, what's the source? And the Rebbe basically he's the source. No, it's rare that the Rebbe did such a thing. But anyway, let's go.
Implying that he was the source?
Yes. The Shem Tzvokis, it's known the great Chiddush and the greatness of the name Tzvokis, Shenasa de Avedus B'nai Yisrael. Who accomplished Tzivus Hashem, meaning the Yidden accomplished Tzvokis when? Dafka when they're in a body, in Galus. After the face of Meshach Chamo, which was safe by his Rishon and at the time of Galus. In other words, what did the Nevi'im accomplish in Tzvokis? That Atzilus comes into Bria and makes Bria on the level of Atzilus. Yeah? When do Jews accomplish it? Not when the Neshama is in Atzilus. After when the Neshama comes into the body. Especially in the time of Galus. Like the Rebbe explained before, when was the primary usage of the name Tzvokis? During the Nevi'im Achareinim, the later prophets. When were they? After the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, when the Yid went into Galus. That even in the words of B'riyah Nasiya, that by definition, B'riyah means yesh mi'ayin, that it doesn't feel the source, meaning it's not bottle. He said because Eva Gomer Echad is Atzilus Elam Achtos should be Eva Gomer Echad K'mei B'Atzilus. Again, this is based on what the Rebbe is explaining the whole time in the Maamar. When the Yid break evil, because Kaf Yisiter Achra, the Rebbe explains, what does the Yid do when they break evil? They bring down the Shechina B'Kula Almin B'Shava, and he said before, means not only save of Kol Almin. The Rebbe explained before, it means even Atzma Saints of, when, again, this is the whole thing of Basi Legani, bringing the Shechina back down. Ika Shechina, the highest level of the Shechina, bring it back down here. How does a Jew bring Ika Shechina down here? Dafke in the body, Dafke in the time of Galus when evil is dominating, and a Jew breaks evil. So this is the same thing that he says. The Eden and Sivis Havaya create in a world of separation from Hashem, Bria Yitzir Nasiya, which is not like Atzilus, which is completely nullified and bottled to Hashem. Chelek Olokam Imal. You're doing in the world of Malachim and those things, separated entities. Yid, through Avaida, Sivis Havaya, reveals that level of the essence of Hashem greater than it was before the Eitzadas into this world.
What about doing mitzvah?
That's doing mitzvahs, breaking evil. How do you break evil? Because this, that tzvokis. And the Rebbe is explaining, tzvokis is not the level of the world of Atzilus. It's the way Elokus comes into being, and yet it's a holy name. That's the Aved of a Yid. What's the Aved of a Yid? Especially in Galus, when the darkness is greater and the evil is more dominating, to bring Atzilus, or even higher than that, Iker Shechina, down here into the physical world, that the physical world becomes one with Hashem. Now, when are we going to see that happening? Yes, Mashiach. Mashiach comes, especially after Tchias HaMeisim. The Rebbe says in Tanya, Befrat Achet Tchias HaMeisim, is going to be the ultimate revelation of Dira. The essence of Hashem is coming to live in this world, meaning in this Gashmistical world is going to be revealed Dira Latzmusei, the dwelling place where the person is as he is by himself in this world. And that's the whole purpose of creation. So therefore, the evolution of the world in preparation for this is creation of the world, Eitz Hadas, 7 tzaddikim up, Shechina coming back down, Matan Torah, first base of Migdash, Galus, second base of Migdash, Galus. This is all the Aveda, and that's why the Galus is so long. Because we got a lot to accomplish. That in all levels of evil, Elokus is brought down like it is in the level of Atzilus.
We accomplished already.
That's what the Friedrich Rebbe said. The Friedrich Rebbe said in Tovshin Beis, I think it was Tovshin Beis, he said that everything is ready, we only have to polish the buttons. You know, the uniform, everything's on, you just have to shine up polish the buttons. The Rebbe said many times that was also done already. And the Rebbe said the only thing that needs to be done is Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach Tzedkenu. Everything is ready, we just have to accept them. And therefore, when they finished Mashiach Sefer Torah 70 years ago, I'm sorry, 70 years ago, Tavshin Lamed 50 years ago, Tesh Shvat, Erev Yud Shvat, the big Yud Shvat Tavshin Lamed. So over there, the Rebbe said, when they finished Mashiach Sefer Torah, I was there then, as a Bacher, the Rebbe said that Mashiach and Torah came. In Torah, Mashiach Sefer Torah is here. We need to bring Mashiach now into the world. The Alter Rebbe said, Tafresh Ches, 100 and whatever years ago, from 8 to 80, 172 years ago, there was a Ketz. The Alter Rebbe said, Mashiach is coming, Tafresh Ches. Tafresh Ches came and went, and he didn't come. So Rebbe Marash said to the Tzemach Tzedek, what happened? Mashiach is supposed to come. So the Tzemach Tzedek said, what do you want? We printed Likutei Torah. Likutei Torah was printed in Tafresh Ches. Which obviously Chassidus, it's like the Gemara of Chassidus, Likutei Torah. So it's like the Torah of Chassidus, this Galus Mashiach. So then Marash said, we need Mashiach in a Gashmistic way, not in Likutei Torah. Remember, most of the times the Rebbe would repeat it, he would cry when he said it, that we need Mashiach in a Gashmistic way. Anyway, so let's go. So he says, okay, now he says like this. But the bottom line, now that I'm saying another point. In order for this super level of high to come to this super level of low, how can you connect high and low? You have to bring down a level above both. Like we learned, in order to combine miracle and nature, Havai and Elikim, all that, you need to bring down a higher level. And he says, in order to unite and bring down Achdus in Biyah, which the Ched is two separate entities. One is Achdus and one is Pirud, is only Alaham Shech Mimokim Elyon Yosef. To bring down a higher level of Elokus, yeah, that's above both. Now, how do we bring down such a high level of Elokus? So he says in Ches, Shin Samach Daled, in Amshach Ezoi de Aveda Sabirudim. That's the Aveda Sabirudim, which is the Aveda of a Jew in the body, the Aveda of a Jew, especially in time of Galus. As known what the Baal Shem Tov said, any object that a Jew owns is yesh nemnitzutzis kadeshim. Exist in those objects holy sparks. Hashayachim l'sheidish nishmasei. And this is remarkable also. Baal Shem Tov said, any property you own, is there sparks in kedusha in that object that are connected to your neshama, not somebody else's neshama. That's why they don't own it, you own it. And therefore, what's the Avedas HaBirudim? To elevate those objects that you have or connected to. Because those sparks are connected to your neshama. Showed it not only that, he says, Sheidish Knishmasi, the origin of the neshama. That means that the reason, and again, this is the way Hashem, like Baal Shem Tov said, a leaf turning over, is Hashgacha Pratis, in the whole master plan of creation. Hashem makes things happen in the craziest of ways that I should end up with this object. Why did I end up with this object? You know, you go to the store, think about it. You go to the store and you buy food. You buy a box of cups, yeah? And you end up picking this particular box of cereal or this can of whatever, yeah? Or this particular meat the butcher gives you. If you believe in Hashgacha Pratis, for sure, then you realized that the fact that you got that box of cereal and that canned good and that piece of meat and that cup that you're using to drink your coffee in, or that spoonful of coffee that you're drinking, you know, if it's instant or whatever, that Hashem made the whole world crazy. I don't mean crazy in a negative way. The whole thing of world, that Hashgacha Pratis is that you got that can, that bottle, that cereal, that cup, because you are the only one that can elevate that particular box. Nobody else. That's what the Baal Shem Tov said. Any object the Jew owns, because there are sparks in that object that belong only to your neshama.
That means Chinese should be elevated every day, because everything comes from China.
You know what they say? God made heaven and earth, everything else is made in China. Well, you import the material, whatever. Yeah.
Jacket, the guy who made it in China.
Yeah, but why did that jacket end up by you? And not by somebody else? You're not the only one with that size, right? Yeah, but think about it. This has to be conscious on the mind of the person. I'm eating food. This food belongs to me because this bowl of cereal that I put now into my plate is not my wife's, not my kids, not my dogs, not my anybody. This is my bowl of soup. There's sparks of Kedusha in this particular cereal that's in this particular bowl, and my birudim to accomplish. And you know what? You could blow it or accomplish it.
We have to elevate the Chinese money. The public they are.
Rabbi, would you say the same thing on an opioid that is self-destructive?
The what?
An opioid that is self-destructive.
Yeah.
The guy
But that's evil.
and it still was prepared for you.
No, you can own it, like somebody owns treif, yeah? So the Aved is not to use it. You can't elevate it, you have to break it. How do you break it? By not using it. That's the Aved, not to use it. And he says, the Baal Shem Tov explained another Gemara. The Torah says, Torah Chasam Mamenim Shal Yisrael. The Gemara says, and this Rashi brings down in many places, even this week's Parsha B'Shalach, Rashi brings it down. The Torah has pity on the animals of a Jew, on the property of a Jew. Torah Chasam Mamenim Shal Yisrael. It says the Torah, Hashem has pity on the Jewish money. Why? It's only money. Why does Hashem have pity on the Jewish money? Because that money, he says, Kivin Shamamin, who shall Yisrael, they murder, Sharikol Yom Mishgacha Pratis, Shanitzutzis Elu Shayachal Misherish Nishmasim. Therefore, why is there a sin not to waste things? Who cares? I waste it. Big deal. It's a lot of paper. I waste a piece of paper. Why? Because that paper that I own has a certain spark of Kedusha. I need to elevate. Throw it out. What am I counting? I'm not elevating it. And therefore, the Rebbe had a shita. When he came to think, somebody wrote, Rabbi Kastel of Tzach, once, he said it, but it was public, he said it. They had once two options in Tzach. You know, Tzach in New York. Tzir Gurus Chabad. It's not for Tzir Gurus Chabad. They do all the kiru of things in New York. Okay. So they had two options. One option was, it's going to cost less money, but less people are going to be able to put on tefillin. Or something that's going to cost much more money, but more people will be able to put on tefillin. So they asked the Rebbe what to do. The Rebbe answered back a very sharp answer, like, what even is the question? Because of money, Jews are not going to put on tefillin? Like, what are you, stupid question? A foolish question is this? What is this? When it came to needing, there's no such thing as money. Money wasn't an object. But if the Rebbe walked out of 770 and saw the light on in a sukkah, the Rebbe turned around and he said, Ashad Yiddish Shigab means, why are you wasting money? A penny wasted, the Rebbe was against. Otherwise, you needed it, that's the purpose of it. But otherwise, what do you waste? Why can't you waste? Because this piece of paper, yeah, it's a little paper clip. A paper clip, what is it? It's nothing.
But for $1 million for mitzvot?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the avoid of the... Okay.
So,